All right, welcome back. We're on another episode of In the Wild, and I found my way to beautiful Texas. It's 85 degrees outside, and at home it's like 40.
Ooh.
And I'm sitting here with the marketing manager here at THUMPER FAB.
What's up, guys?
Professional partier.
Yeah.
Professional marketer.
That's right.
MC at some events.
That's right.
What else do you do?
Travel the country. I mean, I guess you could say you name it, I can do it.
Just all you need is 5 minutes to prepare and you're ready, huh?
That's it. Let me fix my hair, throw on some lip gloss, and let's do this. Okay.
All right. So what got you into the off-road community?
So I've actually been in the off-road community. A lot of people probably don't know this since I was little. Started racing modified go-karts when I was 10 and 11 years old, and I was addicted. Then I got into riding four-wheelers with my grandparents, and I never grew out of it. Whoop, whoop. Got to go around.
They're good. They could walk through. We are in the wild. I mean,
oh, okay.
I came to y'all's place of business.
Okay. Well, normally
interrupted your work day.
No, normally we keep somebody right there.
Am I allowed to vape in here?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Started riding with my grandparents, and it was just a passion. There's nothing like getting off of that county road and hitting a dirt road. And you know, people don't know what goes on in those woods. They have no clue how many people you meet and how many friends you make. And so my whole life. Then I started a promotional company, was doing like grand openings at dealerships. That's how I met Jeff. We used to work a lot of the parks. So we would go to River Run, we would go to Colfax, Louisiana, and work the front gate for Trucks Gone Wild. So I've always been involved in it. I've always, known a lot of people in the industry. And then I started selling side-by-sides for Jeff. And then I moved over to Thumper. And really, it feels like it just happened that fast.
So for the people at home that like we do, while doing this podcast, I do race car drivers, shop owners. Pretty much if you have a business or you're a content creator, I jump in and we shoot this podcast. And so for the folks at home that don't know, THUMPER FAB, you guys focus on a lot of the utility side of stuff.
Yes, we're strictly UTV.
So we do so much with the sport side-by-sides. Mm-hmm. What is the passion for the utility side?
So we work with a lot of hunters, a lot of ranchers. We do stuff with Street Outlaw Ryan Martin. We've built him a few Defenders, working on some other stuff with him. Basketball player Isaiah Thomas, we just finished a build for him. Dak Prescott, we did a build for him a couple of years back. So there's not really a focus on racing or mudding or anything. Anybody can use our product on their vehicle. We have racers that have a race cage. We got Bryce Sparks right now, Whiskey Biz. He's at King of the Hammers with our doors on his buggy. So our enthusiasts, they're just broadened. They're more than just racers. They're more than just mudders. They're hunters. They're ranchers. They're mom and pops, grandma and grandpa. It's just a mix of all of it.
Right. And shout out Ryan Martin with the Fireball Camaro. I did a podcast with Ryan Mitchell.
Okay.
And so they go back and forth all the time, especially in the off season from No Prep Kings. Yep. Ryan Martin races a small tire car.
Yep.
And him and Ryan Mitchell are like neck and neck, back and forth all the time. And it's cool to see.
Yes.
And that's where like my background is that I started in No Prep and street racing. And then I found my way in the off-road community.
Got you.
So I didn't start doing this until 2020 because of COVID.
Yep.
And I didn't know that there was so many companies out there that specialize in so many different styles of not just riding, but like you said, a utility vehicle that's used for farming, ranching, hunting, and that's what you all do here.
Yep.
So I know our time's limited today, so I'm trying to keep the questions rolling.
Oh, you're good.
With you traveling all over the country, you've been around the Bounty Course, you've been around Mud Madness, you've been around, did you go to Hammers last year?
I went 2 years ago.
And then you guys do so many, you guys did a Texas Power Sports Expo, right?
Yep. We go to several different expos, hunting expos, fishing expos, RV expos. We do a lot of expos.
So what is the setup at like an expo like? Because obviously when you go to the off-road park, you guys bring the semi-trailer, or like when you guys did OPE, I've been around those expos or outdoor events. So what is it like going to the fishing expo or hunting expo? What are those like?
It's a different world. You know, if you see me at the mud park, I'm usually in my jersey or in gator waders, something like that. Waders if it's cold. Hunting expo, I'm in camo. You know, fishing expo, I'm in camo. It's a whole different industry, I guess you could say. You meet several different people. We go to the four-wheeler park, we go to the mud park, we go to the off-road expo. People want to talk about our suspension. People want to talk about lift kits. These people want to talk about our racks. These people want to talk about our headache racks, because of course, what are our headache racks used for? Pulling deer up in the back of it, coyotes, stuff like that. So it's a different vibe, you know. It's a lot different, I guess you could say. Different people, different environment, different customers, different clientele. Sometimes we take the semi if some of the conventions will allow us in there with it. If not, we'll just set up a booth with side-by-sides decked out to the limit of hunting.
So it's a complete gear shift from going from the off-road park or...
Complete.
Because did you guys do the semi last year at Nats? I'm terrible.
No, we did 2 years ago at Mud Nats, but we had the little trailer. The semi we didn't have the semi yet, but we set up the trailer. We had the biggest booth. We called it the hamster's nest because we put like shaved chippings all down because it rained and everybody else was muddy and our booth wasn't muddy. So it is a big gear shift, big change, pretty much taking the trailer, emptying it, and getting it ready for something completely different.
Dang, it sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Prepping for events is a lot of work.
So with you being the marketing manager here and being so involved yourself in the off-road community, how do you find that work-life balance? Because it all seems to be one. How do you turn your brain off from always thinking off-road, you know, at home, at work? How do you make that shift?
I don't. I'm never not working. I have 2 phones. I'm always on social media. I'm always answering questions. I'm always doing something. So I guess I just go into the mentality of, I'm not in the off-road mud right now, but I'm in the off-road hunting. So I know what the hunters expect. I know what they want to hear. So it's not, I mean, it's a transition, but when you know your product and you're very familiar with not just my product, but with the entire industry, it's very easy.
Yeah, because not only do you guys sell the headache racks and the THUMPER FAB stuff that's literally made right on the other side of them doors.
Yeah.
But you guys sell Rockford kits or, you know, anything Rockford, and I'm sure you guys sell a bunch of other stuff. So is that something that comes natural to you? Like you just pick up on like new products and you just keep expanding, or?
So we have an R&D department. We have an R&D department right back there. And in that department is where we, like right now, we have something new out there. It's a U-Force U10. I will say that. Everybody's been asking, so I'll go ahead and sneak it. We are building products for the all-new U-Force, the CF Moto U-Force. New products coming. And what I do is I'll go out there, they'll scan the machine, they'll start producing, they'll start fitment on the product. Once they get that on, I'll get knowledgeable with it. I'll listen to the guys talk. The guys will talk to me. They'll tell me everything and all that I need to know about this machine.
So as it's getting built, you already are in
I'm taking myself to school.
Right.
Yes.
So this way you know what's going on. So this way by the time it hits the market, you already know what's going on. Yep. And you can answer all the questions, because like CF Moto, like for probably the last 6-7 years, it's got nothing but hate.
Right.
And then they released their sport model.
Yep.
And now everybody is tripping, trying to get their hands on one. Yep. And then they released the heating and air conditioning unit.
And it's in Canada. Canada got it before we did. They have them on the ground right now.
And I think that now there's so much attraction to it because the sport's growing so fast.
Yes.
And people are afraid of spending the money on, you know, like Defenders and Rangers, because I remember a couple of years ago when I bought my first machine, you could get like a North Star unit for like mid to high 20s.
Yeah.
And now it's
not no more.
Now you're looking at high 30s if you want to be in something nice.
Yep. Yep.
And I think, you know, as much as everybody's going to hate me for what I'm about to say, I think CF Moto's onto something as long as they can stay with that price point.
Yes.
Only because there's so many people afraid of getting into the community because of the price point.
I agree with you. You know, and they're having to rework. They got the heat and everything under control, but now they're having to rework the AC. The AC's reworking. You're good. You can come through.
Yeah, we're in the wild.
It looks in the wild. It's in the wild.
Whatever. Oh, Jeff. You know, they're having to rework the AC. They've got it released in Canada. Well, in Canada, they're cold. They got the heat under control, but now they're working on the AC. And like I said, Canada's already got them on the ground. They're dropped in Canada already. So we're waiting to get our hands on one. Coming back to what you're saying about CF Moto, I do see it. And that's why we're staying on top of it. You know, we already have tons of products released for the CF Moto.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep up with it. And what sets us aside from other dealers or other companies is we don't want to make one. We don't want to make two. We want to make 500 headache racks. We want to make 500 bumpers. We want to make 500 audio roofs.
If there's a model out there, you guys are trying to get ahead of the game and be prepared for the next wave.
Exactly.
Because in the last, well, since I've been doing it, 2020, I've watched the community go from like a 32 being a big tire.
Yep, yeah, to a 56 one.
56.
Yeah.
You know, now you see people building trail rigs,
Yes.
prepping for 56s
Yes.
as a trail tire.
Yes, it's
And-
I remember 29 5s with putting a basketball in front of your freaking Honda and floating, and you were doing something. That's how I remember it.
And the game has changed
Oh.
so much.
It is insane to see how far this industry has grown. It's nuts.
Do you see it like, I guess the proper question would be, like, do you see a ceiling on the industry? Or do you think that machines are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger?
I think so. Have you seen the thing that's been floating around the internet about Chevrolet coming out with a side by side?
Yes, I just seen it yesterday.
I see that. Is that real? No, I don't think that's real. I've done my research. I don't see any truth behind it, but I do see the industry blowing up. I don't see it slowing down. I don't see it taking a break. I don't see any of that. I see it getting bigger. I see that 4 years from now, I don't know, 5 years from now, we'll be driving these things legally on the streets. There's going to be dealerships like Ford dealerships. At least that's what I hope. That's what I can wish for, because like the Ranger 1500 right now, the steel transmission, I just did some testing on one, and those things are crazy in the trails compared to my Can-Am Defender Limited that I drive all the time. It's a game changer, like night and day driving that.
So with the Ranger 1500, is that belt driven or gear driven?
It's gear driven. It's all the steel drive transmission, and you can tell how it's handles. Like I took it to Gator Run, local park here, and I was doing some R&D on the fender flares, and it sucked in the mud, but I didn't have mud tires on it either. I had an all-terrain. They did okay, but I'm gonna take it to River Run. Hopefully I can find some mud tires back here in the shop somewhere and really put it to the test, give it a little hell. But it's different, and you know, with that just being that's the hottest new car. I call car. That's the hottest new machine on the market. Yeah, car, bike, side by side. Like, what's the real name for these things? Yeah. With that coming out, I mean, that's practically a damn Jeep.
Well, with the rumors, so since you brought up the rumors of the GMC side by side, if there's any truth to it at all, I mean, they're taking Chevy Cruze motors, the 2-liter turbo motor, and stuffing it into a side by side.
Yes.
And then I started doing a lot of digging on TikTok because that's where I'd seen it first. And somebody had leaked that they were trying to put an automatic transmission in this thing.
Yeah.
And that will change the game almost 400%.
Yes.
Because right now we have low, high, reverse, neutral, and drive.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, and see, in the 1500, you only have drive, reverse, park. You have a neutral under here, but you don't have high, low, anything. You have drive, reverse, park.
So do you think that that's why it feels a little like...
Oh, yeah.
That's what the huge difference is with the way that it rides or drives through the mud?
Yes, it's your gearing. Definitely
Interesting.
your gearing, yeah.
So do you think that a lot of the like super ATV high lifter, do you think that they're already like jumped the gun and trying to figure out a way to do gear reduction with those besides portals?
I do think I haven't really done my research on it, but I do think it's busy around here. It's nonstop all day, all night. It's busy. It's crazy. I haven't done my research, but I'm sure that I believe there already is somebody out there that's doing it. So.
Dang. Because the more you can do gear reduction, the bigger the tires get.
Yep. And I've seen these 1500s already on like 35s, 40s, so somebody's doing it.
Do you remember at in Alabama at Bogs and Boulders, there was the Expedition
Yep.
on 65s?
Yep.
That thing was huge.
Massive. Massive. Well, the Expedition that was OPE this year, ATM Forged.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, his is huge.
Yeah.
His is really big. I actually sent him a message earlier about Orange Beach Invasion. It's a big car show. I went a couple years ago, and I think I might be making an appearance there this year too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do the side-by-side stuff in places that you wouldn't see a side-by-side.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if a lot of people follow Rick Ross. Everybody knows who Rick Ross is. That big car show he does at his house. There was side-by-sides there. We had product there this year.
Really?
Rockford Fosgate actually was set up out there, and they had one of their Rangers that had our front and rear bumper on there. So it was really cool to see our product at freaking Rick Ross's. So
Yeah.
I actually emailed them, and we're going to see if we can get out there this year.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
There was actually a guy from Louisville that
Yeah.
cuts grass.
Yes, I seen that.
Yeah.
And he did the...
And he did all the writing. He
Yeah.
cut all, I think it was like 100 acres.
Yes.
Somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 100 acres.
Yes, I seen that.
And then he got all brand new equipment to
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what everybody's music preference is, but to see the things that Rick Ross does for the
Yes.
community and tries to preach growth.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many influential people out there, and it's not just people that are untouchable. Like Rick Ross,
Right.
you're not going to call him and say, hey, man, what's up?
Right.
I need some life advice.
Right.
But then there's people in the off-road community like you and Bryce,
Yes.
and there's some Cody Willenberg. He's
Yes.
racing right now at
Right now.
Hammers. Literally, while we do this, I've been watching him
I've been watching
race
it all day. Bryce is out.
Yeah.
Ugh, that made
At
me
least he's
sick.
safe, though.
Yes, he is safe. He is safe. The car's not safe, but he is safe, so.
But, you know, there's so many influential people here in the off-road community, and there's so many people that are willing to lend a hand.
Yes.
And, you know, on this podcast, it's about giving people flowers. Like I just did a show with Alan Booty over at Triage.
Yep.
One of y'all's
Dealers.
dealers. And,
And personal friends. Shout out to them. Love them to death.
yeah, they're awesome people.
They
They're
are.
rebuilding mine right now for Nats.
Yes.
But, you know, thank you for everything you do for the community.
Oh, yeah.
As well as, you know, doing stuff like this.
Yes.
And, but back to the community as a whole, I will say that this is way different than like the racing community.
Right.
Because no matter what happens during the week, come Friday night, we're all together, we're all hanging out.
Yep.
And, you know, that's why me and my wife have found such comfort in the off-road community, because it just is an easygoing,
It's a big family.
good time.
Yeah, it's a big family.
So the CF Moto thing, I think that's huge.
Oh, yeah. It is. It is huge. Just watch.
GMC, if they really do it, that's
crazy.
even bigger.
Yeah, that's going to be insane. Insane.
If GMC can put together a side-by-side that will hold together, the tire sizes are limitless.
Yeah.
Because now you're putting car motors that you can go to Brian Tooley or you can
Yep.
go to Texas Speed,
Yep.
and you can pick up kits for these little 4-cylinders that
Yep.
will put out 800 horsepower. Do you think that that will change like the mud racing? Like the bounty holes? Do you think it'll change the bounty course? Because now if you have a machine that's capable of 600 or 700 horsepower,
Yeah.
everything's got to change. The holes either got to get deeper, longer.
Yes. Tougher, something. I mean, that's a lot of horsepower going around a track. That's a lot
Yeah.
of horsepower going through a hole. Like, I mean, you know, Megan Ryan, she's got a lot of horsepower behind hers. Bryce, for instance, dual engine. I mean, they got a lot of horsepower. They're pushing a lot of horsepower. But if that thing is true and it becomes something, whew, step your games up.
So with all the off-roading events you do, like separating it from the expos, because obviously OPE is a great time.
Yes.
Shane and them do a killer job.
Yes.
What are your, like if the bounty course, Nats, and Rednecks with Paychecks, if they're all on the same weekend, where are you going?
The bounty course.
Really?
Yes.
So what is it about the bounty course that makes it your favorite?
You never know what's going to happen. Every rider is going to take a different line. Every rider is going to be in something different. Every rider has a different skill. I mean, there's always action, no matter what. Whether they're flipping, endoing, flipping over in the water, and you're like, holy shit, is this person okay? You know, it's an action-packed race. Like, there's nothing else out there. I love the bounty race, and don't get me wrong, but that bounty course, if you've never seen it, if you've never experienced it, I think the next one is River Run.
Yeah, it's the weekend of my birthday,
Mine
April
too.
10th through the 12th.
When's your birthday?
The 10th.
Mine's the 14th.
Hey.
Hey, Aries. So if you've never seen it, River Run, April, it's crazy. We film a lot of stuff. We've actually won the contest one time at the bounty course for filming. So that's some of the best footage we get out there, besides King of the Hammers, of course. But man, that course is gnarly. Mike and everybody with WTF,
It's brutal.
it's brutal.
My favorite part about the bounty course is seeing the graveyard from the big tire side-by-sides. They just pick them up, set them in the middle.
Yes, yeah, it's gnarly, like I said, and you never know what's going to happen. And if you turn around and you hear, oh, you're going to be like, damn it, I missed it.
Yeah,
because you don't know
gotta
what
watch
happened.
Facebook
Yes.
and everything
Yeah.
else for the highlight reels.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the final questions I got for you is, how important is social media? Do
Very.
you think?
We are a social media company. You can ask the owners, you can ask Jeff, you can ask JC. They will tell you 100% we are a social media company. I personally, I'm the social media manager as well as the marketing manager. I push product. I push sneak peeks. I post at least 3 times a day with pictures. I post at least 3 reels a day. It's 2025. Social media that's everything. You know, what do you do at night? You go to a marketplace, you're scrolling. You're on TikTok, you're scrolling. What do they have on TikTok now? TikTok Shop. So you're gonna buy something, you're gonna see it, an ad's gonna pop up, a reel's gonna pop up, and you're looking at this badass side by side. Like I posted a reel earlier of an expedition that we had at OPE with those the smoothie wheels.
Oh yeah.
Dude, everybody is going crazy about that. And
The smoothie wheels are a game changer.
yes, they are a game changer, and we rode them. You know, we took them to the off-road park after OPE, and they performed fantastic.
And my favorite part about the smoothie wheels is that they're most likely way easier to clean.
Yeah, 100%.
And they don't pack mud in and
Right.
then make your steering all wobbly.
Yep.
So is that something that you think will be a more available product? A smoothie wheel?
I would have to say, I don't want to speak on Mark's behalf with ATM, but I do see it, you know, because they were such a big hit.
Yeah.
Such a big hit, but social media. Where did you see those at? TikTok. Where did you see those at? Facebook, Thumper FAB. I seen them on Thumper, you know, so social media is where it's at. And if you want any recognition of any type of product, getting your name out there, you know, me, not only am I known as Miss Thumper FAB, Queen of Thumper FAB, oh, that's Brittney with Thumper FAB, I'm also known as Brittney Smith, B. Smith, you know. A lot of people know me from being at the rides, from, you know, being in the industry for so long, from used
Yeah,
to
because
being
you're literally everywhere.
everywhere.
If there's an event, chances are you're there.
I'm there. You know, a lot of people's been reaching out. Are you at KOH? Nope. I wish I was, but I've been sick a lot. Came back from OPE, had pneumonia, was really sick. So I've taken a couple weeks off, but starting next weekend, Mardi Gras River Run, that starts my events, and it's like boom, 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 boom. So.
Yeah, the first time that I'll get to go out is Nats.
Mud Nats, yeah. I'll be there. Hopefully, I will be revealing my new build there.
I was gonna ask that. So
I was waiting on it.
Well, you're always doing like the product testing, or like this year with the appreciation ride, you were in a Ranger, right?
Yep, I was in a 1500.
So when can you give us like a hint of what kind of ride it's gonna be, like Polaris or Can-Am?
It's a Defender, Can-Am Defender Limited. It's a 2-seater. It's not the Max. It is a 2-seater. I will say I'm not wrapping it. I did do a little video of everybody was like, what are you doing to it? I am going to paint it. It is at the paint shop as we speak. Of course, it'll be thumped out. But it's going to be different.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Let me just tell you this. When I went into building this Defender, I wanted it to be, if you've seen it coming down the High Line or down the main trail or sitting at the river at Sabine for my nationals, I wanted it to go, what is that? Whose is that? So I thought in my head to myself, 67 Ford.
Oh.
67 Ford.
Some patina maybe?
Exactly.
All
And you're
right.
the first person I've told that. So this is the first podcast I've
And
done.
this will probably drop like right around Nat's time. So
I was gonna drop it next weekend, but paint, as you know, it's patina.
yeah,
It's a little
That's
difficult,
crazy.
and it's not gonna be a wrap because I wanted it to stand out, and a wrap. I ride. This ain't gonna be no Highline Princess, trailer queen. You're gonna find me in the middle of the woods.
yeah. My Razor's painted, and I like it. I like that it's painted because I do incredibly dumb things with this thing.
Yeah.
I
Hey, them
treat
trail
it like
sodas hit hard.
I treat it like a chainsaw,
Yep.
a lawnmower, a boat.
Yep.
I mean, last year at Nats, I sunk it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was really, really nervous. Like I never understood enough about the wrap process.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that I ride around and it's painted, it's like, oh, well, yeah, that looks pretty bad. And then you take a Sharpie because it's all black.
Yep.
And just scribble it on in.
What are you talking about? Where'd it go? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So when you built yours, did you take a lot of time to like actually put together this build, or was it like this and this, and this?
I put a lot of thought into it. So I purchased it was my Christmas present to myself. So I purchased the Defender, and then I started thinking about paint immediately. I started thinking of wraps immediately. I talked to 3 or 4 different wrap companies, and they wouldn't wrap the black that goes like, so when I bought the Defender, it was the camo. So, like part of the plastics camo, part of the plastics black. And they was like, man, we can't wrap that. I mean, we can, but it ain't gonna stick. And I was like, right then, I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna paint it. So I reached out to a friend of mine in Louisiana, Babin, and he is the one that's going to make the magic happen. I went over there last week, and my color will be one of a kind. You will never be able to match it.
That's why I like the fellas over at Exclusive Motorsports. Shout out Ben and Jesse.
That's my boys right there.
Oh man, we had some good times at OPE this year.
Yeah, we actually stayed up. Dang it, what was it? Was it Friday or Saturday night? I don't remember. We stayed up till 5 in the morning, so we
It was
came back
Saturday when
the
we
fire
were-
alarm went
yeah,
off. Was
yep.
you upstairs with us?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it was kind of blurry.
Yeah.
I remember me and Chicken Man, we were sitting there kind of like this.
That's right, y'all was.
And I
Y'all
was-
had the big bottle of liquor.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, it's coming
and
back.
so I was hanging onto the table, and he was like, "What are you doing over there?" I said, "Man, I think this table needs to get held down for a little bit."
Yeah, because I was setting up on the table. I remember now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that those guys have really changed
Yes.
the game. Like the idea of paint up until they started doing what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, if you paint it, you're not going to have that fit and finish of a wrapped buggy.
Correct.
Well, then look at Jesse's machine.
Yep.
I mean, that dude's changing a motor every ride.
Yeah.
I just seen a video the other day where he took his transmission apart.
Yes.
And it was completely rusted from the inside out.
I've seen that too. Yes.
And those guys, like, they put their machines through the
ringer.
fucking ringer.
I mean, they give them things hell. My nationals, y'all be on the lookout. 'Cause I'm
Bottomless
sure.
trails, and then when they went to bogs and boulders,
Yep.
Jesse ripped the whole wheel off the thing.
Yeah.
And that changed my mind about paint.
Yep.
When I seen the way that those guys actually go out and ride,
Mm-hmm.
and then knowing that's what I'm going to do with mine, it was
Exactly.
like, well, paint ain't that bad.
No, not when you're gonna rip half of your damn wrap off.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I have a few companies that's on board already with me. Not gonna release that yet, but
We'll do that at Nats.
Yeah, we'll do that at Nats.
I'll come find you at Nats
Yes.
and we'll do it.
Yes, definitely.
So, last question, and we're going to wrap this up. You guys have Sabine. You have River Run. The other park that you were just talking about.
Gator
the
Run.
Gator Run. Out of all the parks around here, or the ones that you've traveled to, what park is your favorite?
Bogs and boulders.
Really?
Yep.
Everybody's answer is so different. And
I'm sure.
It's cool to hear everybody's favorite. So why is that one your favorite?
I don't know. It's You've got a little bit of everything out there. I love that they have all the swimming holes you can go out there
Oh, yeah.
too. I don't know if you've been to Boggs. Yeah, you've been to Boggs. Did you get to go to the cave?
Nope.
They have the cave.
I rode in the back seat of my buddy's rig because the weekend before,
Yeah.
I popped my motor.
Oh.
So shout out Chris at MidSouth Events. He let me.
Oh, yep.
He let me carpool with him all weekend.
Yeah.
And it was more or less like go wherever he went, and then we got into some shit that we really shouldn't have been in.
Imagine that.
And I was sunk all the way up to my waist
Oh.
in concrete, and it took us probably 2 hours to get out.
Jeez.
Because it was winch 6 inches.
Yeah.
Move the Wayland's Defender.
Yeah.
So this way we could winch out 6 more inches, 6 more, and it was really tricky because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when it happened, and it looked like the water was really deep, and the mud was not deep.
Oh yeah. Optical
We should
illusion.
have taken the water.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like Boggs. You know, there's a lot of good riding out there. My second would probably be Sabine, just because I run the Sabine, so I'm not just an off-road girl. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I love to bow fish. So when it gets extremely hot here in Texas, you'll find me on the water. So the Sabine River that runs through Sabine, I actually fish that a lot. But I love that part of the park. I love the OG bounty hole there. The amenities are really good as well. And then my third would have to be River Run.
Dang. Well, you heard it here first. Bunch of exclusives. So
Yep.
if you're not watching this, you're completely missing the mark here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your time.
Yep. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful down here in Texas, so I think I'm gonna go
85.
find me a taco truck somewhere and hang out for a little
Hey,
bit.
you're in Texas. You'll find that for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and we'll catch you at Knott's.
See you at Nationals.